Hi and good afternoon and welcome to Thfc Till I Die. We're going back, because there's no football this afternoon, we're going all the way back to 1981 to watch a great match between Manchester City and Tottenham Hotspur at Wembley Stadium, where we won our first FA Cup since 1967. Joining me today is my usual two co-hosts. I'll start with the Godfather, who do everything that he says, because if not, he'll make you watch Sky Sports. It's one and only Philip Brady. How are you, Philip?
How you doing? How's things? Yeah, a bit
Yeah,
of a
not
strange
too
one.
bad.
There's no soccer on, no live soccer.
I know.
It's a distraction to watch the game. That's one of our most historical wins.
Yes. And down below is Mark. Well, look, we've had to drop Mark away from the cricket. We really did. He was really enthralled in it. He was watching it.
Really?
He didn't want to come on. I said, look, Mark, I'll give you a beer and two fags. He said, okay, but I'm keeping the cricket on in the background. It's Mark. How are you, Mark, this afternoon?
Yes, I'm doing well, but I really don't like cricket.
Oh, Lord.
I believe we are playing South Africa, aren't we?
I'm giving them a good hammering as well, by the looks of it.
Oh, I've watched zero of it.
Yeah, 118 all out. South Africa just 118 all out. So.
I tell you what, I'm like Dave. I do not understand cricket. It's the most sport I just don't get. I don't get cricket. Formula One, brilliant. Soccer, brilliant. Football, brilliant. Cricket, forget it.
I don't mind the 2020 or that new 100 thing they've started, because they actually get on with it.
We've got a few people in the chat already. We've got Jose Hurtado, big. I don't think I've seen you in before, but welcome, sir. Welcome to the channel. We've got Lazy Ape. Thank you so much, Nick, for all the intros, thumbnails, and everything you do for the channel. We all appreciate it. It says big up from Pittsburgh, lads. Thanks for putting this on. The three wise men are in the building. Well, two wise men and an idiot, to be fair. They've got two wise men. I'm just a local young lad that doesn't know much. So I big up, cheers, Nick. And then we've got Corey Boy as well. I hope you're feeling better, Corey Boy. I know it upset you the other day with the passing of your queen. So I hope you're feeling better, and I hope this cheers you up a bit. Right, Philip, back in 81, where were you and what were you doing, and what do you remember of 81 as a general year? Before we go
what was I doing? I was working up in the wilds, as far west of County Donegal in Ireland as you could. It was kind of next stop America, sort of a place. Yeah. Wild in the winter. I always remember the TV reception was very dodgy up there. You get the Irish channels, okay, but to get UTV and BBC, you had to have an aerial up. And I remember, I think it was before this final, having to go up on the roof to make sure the aerial was in one spot. You know, my biggest memory of this, not the replay, the first game on the Saturday, and I'm still getting grief from my wife over this. We were supposed to go to her cousin's wedding down in Limerick or somewhere, and I refused to go. I said, I'm not missing Spurs' first cup final in 14 years to go to a wedding. So that was fine. I didn't go. Picture with no sound for about a week after it. But during the game, I was just staying in my mother's house, God rest her at the time, and I was lying on the couch watching the game. And when Spurs equalised, I jumped up and I hit the lamp standard in the roof and broke it. So that's the memory that I've got of the first game. You know?
Oh Lord!
You remember these things, you know. But the replay. Enjoyed the replay more. I think most of us did.
Yeah. And you, Philip, what do you remember of 81 as a general year? Good year for you. What were you up to back in 81?
Is that me or Mark?
Mark.
Oh, right. I would have been the final. I would have been 10, so I would have been at junior school. But I can remember watching the first game, because my dad got a ticket from somewhere and he wouldn't take me because he said it was too busy. It was too busy and there was too many people there. So I'd been to White Hart Lane a few times by then, but he wouldn't take me to the final. So I watched it at home. And I remember we were 1-0 down for a lot of the game. And I remember all my friends and that was playing outside and I wanted to go outside. But I thought, no, I must watch this. And I was like, I can remember being very depressed. and to be honest, it was only a lucky goal that got us back into it.
Yeah.
To be honest, it was deflected, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Tommy Hutchinson.
Yeah.
And I thought, but, and to be honest, over the 2 games, well, certainly the first one, Man City were the better team. Certainly. You know, I don't like saying that, but they were.
Well, they were, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But it was our first cup final since '67, and it was the first continental final we got to since we come up from relegation. Just got to do 1-2 things I forgot to do at the start. This channel is now being sponsored by Digital Spurs, and then if you want your flags, your cups, or anything, go over to digitalspurs.com where you can get everything done. Flags, t-shirts, hoodies, everything. We will have a line of merchandise coming out very soon, and you will be able to get it on our website at www.thfc.com. And once that's up and running, we'll let you all know, and you can get your merchandise from there. So, right. So this was the team for the replay. It's at the bottom of the screen. This was our road to Wembley. Do you want to take us through it, Mark? Philip, there, go on.
Queen's Park away, Queen's Park Rangers, Hull City, Coventry. But, you know, the only one of those games I can actually remember anything of was the Wolves replay in the semi-final.
I can tell you a story. I was at the Exeter game at home. What would that have been? 6th round?
Yeah.
And when my dad used to take me to YR Lane, we'd always go in the same pub, always, because like my dad always had to have a couple of pints before the game, whatever. And we went in there and they wouldn't serve us because we had West Country accents.
Oh my God!
Serve my dad, and they wouldn't serve. Well, they wouldn't serve my dad. Obviously, I was like 10, so they wouldn't serve me. Well, well, back then they might have served me, but you know, and they wouldn't serve us.
Right.
They said. Because they reckon we were Exeter fans.
Good God.
Oh, Lord. So we've got all there, and then we won the replay 3-0. The date for the final was the 14th of May, 81. It was at Wembley Stadium. The referee was Keith Hackett, and the attendance was 92,000.
Yeah.
Right.
That's an interesting one. The first match on the Saturday, the attendance was 100,000. But they reduced it by 8,000 because of night matches and restrictions on traffic and whatever, I think.
Yeah. And this was the Centenary Cup final.
And
that's right.
Also, it was the year of the cockerel as well this year.
I've still got the programme upstairs somewhere.
Have you really?
I have, because my dad brought me one back.
I got to give a massive shout out to Duck Jive 1. I haven't got the thing to go across the bottom of the screen anymore, so I am sorry, Simon, but we've got to thank him, and everyone please get over to his YouTube channel. It's absolutely brilliant. It's got Spurs through the 70s, 80s, 90s. He's got documentaries, and if you're an England fan, he's got loads of England games on there. He does have one England-Ireland game, which we will be showing probably in the international break. But anyway, so we'll get this game under the way. So press that and that, and there you go. We're off and running. And there's the teams walking out.
Stevie boy.
Yeah. This was a Wednesday or a Thursday night?
Thursday night. Yeah, Thursday
night. Thursday night, that's right.
Mind you, there's some other team plays on a Thursday night now. I just can't remember what the name is, you know.
Oh, what's their name now? Is it Arsenal?
Well,
Arsenal?
That's the
I can't
one.
remember.
There's two. There's another one that's quite near us. Well, not near me, but quite near Tottenham that play on Thursdays as well. For some reason.
West Ham.
But it was great to see. I saw at the Champions League game the other night, somebody had a flag with Opta Spurs. I haven't seen that flag for years.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it was lovely to see it there. It was in the South Stand at the bottom. But I've been watching a load of 70s Tottenham games the last few days. And what makes me laugh was hearing Barry Davis doing the commentary. He's a massive Spurs fan.
Yeah.
But there was
Yes,
this one, huh?
Yes, he was. He was
Yeah.
a Tottenham fan.
And I watched the 73 final last night against Norwich when we won the League Cup. And there was this fella that rang up. He was all dressed in white, had a big hat on him, and he had the back of him was big up the big match. And it just made me laugh. You know,
Oh,
free advertising for the big match. Oh, Lord. And here's the, I don't know who's there actually. It says all the FA dignitaries and.
Yeah, I was going to say dignitaries.
is that Stanley Rice? No, it's not.
It might be.
No, I don't think so. I thought it might be him, but I don't think so.
Good morning, she says. Good morning, gentlemen. Looking forward to this game. I've never seen it. What a great idea to put it out today since they cancelled the Prem. Well, we thought we'd do something. And big up, Lisa. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
We thought people might be bored. So a bit of football on the on YouTube doesn't do too bad. What do you remember of Man City in them days, Philip? The one the greatest side in the world, were they?
Well, this is before they got their money. You know, this is they were kind of a second. They were playing second fiddle to Man United. You know, for many years. So they're a decent manager, John Bond at the time, and in fact, his son Dennis Bond worked for Spurs then for a number of years after that. I think.
Yeah.
In the Venables era, maybe. Yeah, there's a couple of good players. Tommy Booth, Joe. What's the goalkeeper?
Corrigan.
Joe Corrigan.
Yeah, Joe Corrigan, wasn't it?
Joe Corrigan, yeah, and Kevin Reeves, remember him?
Yeah.
And Tommy Hutchinson, of course, and Jerry Gow. I think he's died since then. I think he's dead now.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, I like the hairstyles as well. You know,
yeah,
mullets.
Yeah, it was sort of the end of the 70s, wasn't it, and the beginning of the 80s. Sort of a different culture coming in.
Because it was also around getting near the time of the miners' strikes and everything, with the unrest that there was at that stage, early 80s.
And Mark, for a Spurs fan, seeing Tottenham come up from the second division, Ozzy and Ricky finally get to Wembley. You know, it was our first F.A.Cup final since 1967, our first Wembley appearance since 1973. What was it like to be a Spurs fan back? I mean, I was only 4.5, so I wouldn't have known much. But for you being a young lad and Philip, you being older, what was it like to be a Spurs fan? Was it exciting times, or did you feel we're on the verge of something good here? And I'll start with you, Philip, then I go to you, Mark.
Yeah, I mean, it was 3 years since we signed Ozzy and Ricky. You know, this was 3-4 years after they came, and it was the kind of the culmination of the improvement that we showed over that period. And it was, you know, well deserved. Okay, it wasn't the hardest route to the final that we had, but you take what game. You have to beat whatever's in front of you, which we did. Just a pity that we didn't do it in the first day, because the first game was very disappointing for us. Never really turned up. Poor Ricky Villa. I mean, that trudge off that he made when he was substituted, we never thought we'd see what happened 5 days later. You know, it was quite amazing. But my abiding memory of it is at the end of the game, when Ozzy Ardila is prancing around the pitch with his winner's medal in one hand and the FA Cup in the other. And it was just brilliant, you know.
Yeah.
Felt so good for Ozzy that he actually won something, you know. And there's the auction, Keith Birkinshaw.
Yeah. That's what I was going to say to you, Mark. Do you think this was a bit of redemption, or not redemption's the wrong word, but a bit of it showed that Spurs board were right to show faith in Keith Birkinshaw to keep him after we got relegated?
Yeah, to be honest. I mean, I can remember sitting down and watching this. You know, it's like I said, I would have been 10. I would have been 10, and like I was just glued to it. Because, to be honest, well, we won the League Cup in '73 that I can't remember because I'd have only been like 2. You know, and this is the first time I actually saw us win something. You know, and I would have been at junior school, and I can remember going to school the next day, and everyone at school was a Liverpool fan. there were some Man United fans, but most of the kids was Liverpool fans because they were winning everything back then. And I borrowed my dad's scarf and I wore it to school. And I was so proud walking into school with my Tottenham scarf on.
Yeah.
And my teacher at the time was a Spurs fan as well.
Oh, they are. Isn't it gas looking at the team? Only one substitute allowed.
Yeah.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
today, you know?
Yeah, Gary Brooke.
Gary Brooke, yeah.
And that's the old Wembley as well there, isn't
Yes.
it? The old style Wembley.
Good team,
Yeah,
that.
the old Wembley. When did the old Wembley get knocked down? 2000 and something?
Around 2001 or so.
Yeah, because I went to the 99 League Cup final when we beat Leicester, and it was the old Wembley then.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember going to a Tina Turner concert in Wembley about 2001, I think 2002.
That's just ready to nearly kick off. I mean,
that's Hutchinson, isn't it? That's Tommy Hutchinson.
I mean, Spurs then, Philip, they were coming up, weren't they? There was something special in the air at Tottenham with the players they were buying.
This would have been about a year before Irving Scholar did his takeover of the club from the Richardsons in the Wales. So yeah, there was like we were still playing in the West End hadn't been built at this stage.
No.
So the ground was in fairly old condition, you know. So this was the start of a big era. Okay, it's the start of the era that nearly put us bankrupt as well. Remember that.
Yeah.
But it was also the start of the era where we kind of moved on a wee bit with the ground development and player development as well, like the likes of Gascoigne and Lineker and Waddle coming into the team in the latter part of the decade. So, yeah, well, the 80s was okay. We might have only won 3 trophies in the 80s, which I suppose is 3 more than we won in the last 15 years. But it was a good time to be a Spurs fan. It really was.
Yeah,
you always thought there was something going to happen.
And also, we are streaming on Twitch for the first time today. So if you want to follow us on Twitch, there'll be loads of FIFA stuff going on there when FIFA 23 comes out. So I'll be doing a load over on Twitch as well. So THFC till I die, all one word, all lowercase. You'll find us over there on Twitch as well as Twitter and of course here on YouTube. So please like and subscribe if you haven't already. There's Ricky. I feel sorry for him after the first game. I mean, you look and walk off.
He was in tears. He was in tears when he got substituted. And my dad, when my dad come home on the Saturday from the final, and he asked me if I watched the game, and I said yes. And he said, "Don't worry." He said, "The man who got substituted," he said, "will win it for us." And I'll never forget that because he did.
It was a great bit of psychology by Keith Burkett to keep him in the team. He could have easily dropped. But I think he's thinking, well, listen, that guy is a fighter. He'll want to prove himself to be, he can do better than that. And look, God, didn't he? What? Still the best cup final goal ever.
Yeah. I think there was 2. Hutchinson goal was brilliant as well. Keith Hutchinson's volley. I think his volley.
God, yeah.
His volley and Villiers' goal, 2 of the best goals I've ever seen.
Yeah,
in a cup final. But
there's 3 FA Cup goals for Tottenham that stand out for me. One of them's in this game, the obvious one. Gazza's free kick and Ginola against Barnsley.
Yeah,
Barnsley away. That's the 3 Tottenham goals in the FA Cup that stand out because all 3 of them are magnificent.
Yeah,
for different reasons.
And also, we kept up. Oh, that was
a very bad decision by the ref there because Ozzy was clean through, but he brought the play back.
Tottenham
a few tackles in this game. 12 months, I remember.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did a fan run on the pitch, Philip?
At the end.
Point?
Near the end, maybe.
Yeah.
I know a fan came down as Steve Perryman was getting the cup. He came down and threw his arms around him.
And you know, because I watched Steve Perryman when he's been on the different channels. That fan is dead now. The one who jumped down and gave him a hug. Yeah, he died a few years ago.
He said it when we interviewed him on here. He said it twice to us that he did meet him at the 81 reunion. He actually invited him. Because Steve said he was more part of the team that won it. He was part of it. But he actually died a few years ago, which I was very sad to hear. But Spurs have kept up, huh?
I was going to say pass backs were allowed to the goalkeepers in these days.
There were. Spurs kept up a tradition. Philip and Mark, 51, 61, 71, 81, of winning a trophy at the start of every decade.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, but we won a trophy in 61, 62, 63. We won a trophy in 71, 72, and 73.
Yeah.
And we nearly done it again in the 80s with 81, 82, but we missed out in 83.
Yeah, that's true. 84.
Was 83 when we lost to Liverpool in the Milk Cup final?
No, 82.
That was 82.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because that final was the first time we'd ever lost at Wembley.
That's right.
When this game was on, we never lost a game at Wembley. Every time we went there, we won.
We technically never lost the cup final.
Oh, what was that?
That was near.
We'll forget about the Coventry one.
Yeah. That didn't happen.
No.
Corey says
that was.
Yeah. Look, I remember my granny was down from Coventry. I have an aunt that lived in Coventry, and she said to me, "Who you supporting?" I'm supporting Tottenham. I said so. My aunt said, my granny said, "I'm supporting Coventry." So I remember going down to the local club that night, absolutely distraught that we lost the cup final. Did not want to go anywhere.
That was a great chance there.
Yeah.
Kevin Reeves.
Good tackle by Graham Roberts.
Yeah. Let's not dwell on 87 anyway. We had enough of that when we did the Gary Mabbott show.
See all the police there in the crowd behind the Tottenham. We all know who they were supporting.
Well done, Glenn Hoddle.
Yeah. Do you know what? Steve Archibald was a great striker for us.
He was.
And Gareth Crooks.
Yeah.
Very
underrated, I think, Gareth Crooks was.
Yeah. I don't want to get us took down on anything, but didn't they call him Black Lightning?
You've done it now, Mark. That's it.
No. It was something along them. It was something along them lines.
I think he was called Grease Lightning.
No. It wasn't.
Yeah, I've just tried to redeem you, Mark. So just.
Oh, all right.
Take a bit of rope when you're giving it.
But that's not a racist thing. That's just.
Yeah, we know that, but some people might, Mark. I know what you're saying.
Okay. I retract that.
Yeah. I think he was. I think he was.
Yeah. Because he was quick and a hell of a striker. We will see it later. How good he was.
There's
Graham Roberts.
Yeah. I think he played with broken teeth, didn't he, or something?
Yeah, I'm not sure it was this match or the first match. That's a great ball, but
yeah. You could already tell Ricky was playing better.
Yeah.
He was never consistent, was he, Ricky Villa? He
no.
always played a good game and then played a bad game and then played a good game.
Ozzy was the more consistent of the two of them.
Yeah. To be honest, Ozzy was the better known, wasn't he? Because Ricky Villa was only like a sideman in the team that had won the World Cup.
Ozzy wasn't common enough. Ricky came with him, I think.
Yeah. But Ricky Villa only come on when Argentina won the World Cup in '78. I think Ricky Villa only made a couple of substitute appearances.
Yeah, well, it was sub appearances. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and Ozzy was in the first team I'm not sure if he played every game that World Cup, but he certainly played
Oh, he
most of
did.
them.
Ozzy Ardiles was the most standout midfielder in the entire World Cup. That World Cup, he was absolutely superb. He was brilliant.
Yeah,
Mind
you remember
the World Cup was that it was fixed. I have no doubt about it. Argentina had to beat Peru 6-0 to get into the final. And what was the score? 6-0.
Oh, there we go.
You know, so
I can always remember Ozzy Ardiles in Escape to Victory when he does a little flick over his head.
yeah, here's the goal now.
Yeah. Yeah, it's Archibald in it. And then yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trust me to miss the bloody goal.
I'll show the replay of it now.
Yeah. I'm sure it was Archibald, wasn't it, that had the shot?
It was Ozzy. Ozzy tried the shot.
Yeah, and then it hit
Archibald had the shot saved.
Yeah.
And rebounded off Archibald back to Villa and bang.
Yeah. Yeah. But after this moment, from what I can remember about it, Man City was all over us after this.
Yeah, for a while anyway. Yeah, they got 2-1 up. They went 2-1 up.
Yeah. Because it's not long after. Because it's not. Is this the bit where they scored their equaliser?
Not yet. I don't think so. Not yet.
We weren't in front for very long.
No. Media Alexic. Well, what happened to him? He went to play for was it Luton afterwards? Did he come to us from Luton?
I can't remember, to be honest.
Yeah, he said not a player you hear anything. You know, he doesn't appear to be one of the legends or back at the team.
No, you never ever hear of his name mentioned ever, do you? Well, I've certainly never seen like on Facebook or anything like that a night with come and meet Media Alexic.
Yeah, because maybe he moved back to whatever country he came from.
Yeah, I'm not sure where he was from.
It sounds like Croatian or
it's that sort of name.
Very sorry about that. Young lad's not well, so I'm just making sure he was all right. So sorry about that.
No problem. I'm just looking at those advertisers around the boards around the side of the pitch there. You wonder how many of those people are still going, wouldn't you?
I remember Midland Bank. That turned into the HSBC, if I'm right.
Yes.
I remember as a little kid getting a little piggy bank. It was like a little pig for the Midland Bank, I think.
Yeah.
I used to work for them. Not a subsidiary of theirs.
Yeah.
Mm.
What was that? Oh, I'll tell you privately what I'm going to say, Philip. I'll tell you privately. It is funny, but I'll tell you privately.
This is the goal now.
Yeah, look at that volley.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
Yeah,
that was a great goal now.
Yeah.
You'll never hit a better one.
No.
Do you know what? For me, the best game I've ever saw, and I don't know if you guys agree, was the 84 UEFA Cup final. It had everything as a game.
It did.
Yeah.
It had excitement. It had the Keith Birkinshaw's finishing. I think it's still to this day, it's criminal Keith Birkinshaw left. Oh, yeah. I really do.
The Ozzy Ardiles hitting the crossbar from 18 inches out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know, this is how football is supposed to be played.
It's honest to God.
Yeah. If you're wondering who the commentator was, it was on BBC and ITV back in them days. It was actually played on both channels, both.
Yeah, I remember that.
And John Motson and Jimmy Hill did the BBC coverage.
Yeah.
For the BBC.
We always used to watch BBC because there was no ad breaks.
No.
See, it annoys me when they keep going to commercial breaks.
I mean, Philip and Mark, especially you, Mark, as a kid, and me being young and as well, Philip, you remember the old FA Cups. Sure. You know, it was always a big thing on the BBC for the FA Cup, Philip. it was always a big day. It was like the whole, you wake up in the morning, it was following the team to Wembley, and then you had the charity match, and then you had, you know, guests, and it was a whole day thing, wasn't it, Philip, on the telly?
Yeah.
As Philip froze.
He might have done. Well, it was, Dermot. It was.
Yeah.
It was. It literally went, because you'd get up at, even though this would have been, 3 p.m. kickoff, the program started at like 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it'd be like breakfast, and then they'd travel with the team to the stadium. With both teams, not just like Tottenham. There'd be a camera on. There would be a camera on both like coaches, and it would, because you got to remember back then. Apart from some England games, this would have been the only live football that you saw.
I think ITV, didn't they have the big match every Sunday? Oh,
yeah, but that was only. But back in '81, there wasn't a live game on it every weekend. It certainly wasn't live.
There wasn't. No.
You've always had match of the day, which showed the highlights, but there was no. It's not like it is now, where Sky's got Sky and BT between them, and we've got virtually every game. I mean, there's not many that aren't on telly now.
I want to do a little poll in the comments. If people can put in the comments now, what game would you like us to show next? Now you've got 3, right? And we've got 3. I reckon you. Is your little mice right down there, Philip?
No, I'll tell you what. I got a new internet provider put in yesterday. I still have the old one going. The new one is absolutely worse and useless, so it'll be going again on Monday. But I don't know which one I'm working on at the minute. Kind of switching between the two, and it just went off there.
Yeah.
So. It goes again, lads. You know what happened, but that's just the way it is.
Big up John Fitzpatrick. Big up John, my Irish brother. Look, put in the chat. I mean, I've got 3 games I've got to pick for, right? The 73 League Cup final against Norwich, Bill Nick's last trophy for Spurs. The 84 UEFA Cup final, Keith Birkinshaw's last trophy for Spurs. Or the 82 Cup final where we played QPR. Now, my choice would be, to be fair, would be 73, because I think we don't really see much of the Bill Nick side, and see Bill Nick leading the side to glory, I think, is a great thing to see. Philip, what would you pick?
I wouldn't pick the 82 final, because from what I remember, we played awful in that. I know we won it and went to a replay again. I'd go for the 73, because I really haven't seen much of that game.
No. And you, Mark?
Yeah. Obviously, the 82 one was an awful final. I think the first game was 0-0, so you don't want to show that. In the replay, we won 1-0 with a Glenn Hoddle penalty.
Yeah.
And so there really wasn't a lot in that either. And to be honest, I'm with Phil. I'm not sure I've ever seen the 7. Well, I'd have only been like 2 or something. So I don't think I've ever seen.
My abiding memory of the 73, what I've seen of it, is Spurs with the yellow socks on them.
Yeah.
It's unusual. But and Ralph Coates, of course.
Yeah. That man, I swear to God, he was Hamlet, man. He did the Hamlet adverts. All right. I'm telling you, he must have. When I was a kid, right, I swear to God that was Ralph Coates.
Yeah.
It had to be.
Yeah.
I mean, he came on to the match. Philip, I watched it last night, right? I've never laughed as much as I did. He came on with a full head of hair, right?
Yeah.
He scores the goal, and his hair's nowhere to be seen. He's got a big bald patch in the middle of his head, right?
Probably Charlton hairdo.
Yeah, and he's got this long bit of hair behind him, just flapping, just gently flapping in the wind. It was the most funniest thing you'll ever see in your life. But I've got a question for you for that game, and for the chat as well. Philip, I don't know, you won't remember this, Mark. Philip, who was taken off in that game for Ralph Coates to come on to? Who was he substituted for?
Oh, God, I haven't a clue. Really don't.
Right, I'll give you a clue. He stayed at Spurs for a long time.
Oh, God.
Going to be Steve Perryman or someone like that then?
No.
Oh, no.
No.
73. Not Martin Chivers.
No. It was
John Pratt.
yeah, exactly. Spot on.
Yeah. John Pratt was a very underrated player. I'll tell you, he's the nearest thing we had, I think, to Harry Winks. Half the crowd hated him, and the other half thought he was brilliant. Well, not brilliant, but I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, I mean, I heard last night Martin Shivers used to get pelters after he first came back from injuries in 71, 72. He got pelters that year for some reason.
Yeah.
He wasn't bad. John Fitzpatrick's going for the 84 final at the Lane was special.
Oh, that was.
See, that one you'd have to start it at 7:45 and do it at night and do it properly, do the whole game justice, I think, for that one. But yeah, I think 73, because we don't really show much 70s stuff on here, and I think we should do. We don't show enough 70s Spurs on here. But like it's just great finals over the years.
Mm.
I mean, for you, Philip, you've watched. I don't know how long. How long have you been supporting Tottenham now?
How long have I been supporting Tottenham? It'll be all like since I was about 5, so it's almost 60 years, 62, 60 years. Yeah.
If you, I would ask the same question to Mark, and I'll answer it myself and put it into the chat as well. Can you name the best decade you remember as a Spurs fan, and you think you've come to the end of that decade, that 10 years, and you're thinking, God, that was a great year for Tottenham. Great 10 years for Spurs. What a decade.
Is that Mark or me?
You Philip, first.
Sorry. I suppose the 60s, really, because like we won the. Okay, since I started following, we were the first English to win a European trophy in '63, F.A.Cup in '67. That was the era, the Jimmy Greaves era, which and to my mind was superb. The pleasure of seeing Jimmy playing a few times. The 70s was an up and down era. We won things at the early part of it, then we got relegated, and then we came back with Ozzy and Ricky at the end of the decade. The 80s, I suppose, of the most recent vintage, the 80s was the best because we won 3 trophies in the 80s. And the 90s, 2 trophies. The noughties, 1 trophies. The 10s, nothing. And the 20s, hopefully, will win something. So I suppose it's a hard pick between the 60s and the 70s, I would say.
Yeah. Can I just say, the keeper's come out, completely handballed it outside the area.
That's a red card these days.
Yeah, and the referee's just said, right, don't do that again.
That's the difference in the rules, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they got a free kick. What more do they want?
That was his attitude. They've got a free kick. It's good enough.
Yeah. That's a straight red these days.
Yeah.
Anyway, my answer is the 80s.
Yeah.
My answer is the 80s all day long. Because, to be honest, I wasn't alive in the 60s. The 70s, I was too young, really. And so, just like I said, I would have been, I'd have been coming up 11 when this game was on.
Yeah.
So growing up to see us win, I was 10, 11, and 13. That was magnificent when I was growing up. I even bought the shirt. The shirt they got on, it's on here. I bought it last week at the stadium.
I'm going to have to say the 70s for me because I love watching the 70s type football. I think it was more fun. It was
you weren't born, Dermot.
I mean, I don't know if you guys ever watched Match in the 70s. Dennis Waterman did it with the music and then with the match as well. It was like tackles were going in all over the place. Fights on the pitch. It just seemed. I don't know. I know it wasn't. It started off great for Spurs and then ended off not great for Tottenham. But I just felt the 70s for me. It was just for footballing reason. I think it was probably that and the early 80s.
Yeah. I was going to say. I mean, the tackles are still flying in this game.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Can you imagine being a player like Glenn Hoddle playing back then? I mean, he must have got Well, he must have had bruises all over his legs every game.
Yeah, he's a marked man, all right.
Well, everyone knew what he could do.
Philip, apart from Jimmy Greaves, I want to park him to one side because I know that's your favourite player. If you could pick a player, apart from Jimmy Greaves, any other player that you've seen over the years playing for Tottenham, and you've seen some wonderful, talented, brilliant players. I mean, like even you put Glenn Hoddle to one side. Who do you think's been the most hard working Tottenham player that you can, when you see his name on the team sheet, you know he's going to put in the shift for you, good or bad? Who over the years, who would you think that would be?
Well, I would say Graham Roberts.
Mm.
I think he epitomised everything that was good about Spurs in the 80s. I suppose a more recent version of him would be Ledley King. But Roberts I thought was superb. If you wanted to go a bit more further up the pitch, I suppose it would have to be someone like Robbie Keane or Dimitar Berbatov. Not that Berbatov was a hard worker, but he certainly got the result.
I was going to say hard work.
I know. I'd say that Berbatov never worked a day in his life, I'd say. But, that boy had skill, I remember being at the famous game when they beat Reading 6-4. And it was the most frustrating match I've ever been at. The defence just didn't turn up that day. But Robbie Keane and Berbatov literally tore Reading apart on their own. It was brilliant attacking, but crap defensively. It was absolutely awful. Oh, my God.
And to top that off, look, I know Jimmy Greaves is your all-time hero at Tottenham, and I think he's mine. I think he's all Spurs players, and there should be a statue of him outside the stadium with Bill Nick and Danny Blanchard. For people that don't know Jimmy Greaves, for people that have only heard about him, what made him so special? What made him possibly the greatest striker that England have ever produced? And I mean going ahead against Wayne Rooney and even our own Harry Kane. What made him so special, Philip? What was it?
He had a few things. Jimmy Greaves, Jimmy Greaves was 5'8". Right, he wasn't a big guy. He was quite, diminutive, as they say, in stature. But he was a great header of the ball for a guy that was so small.
Yeah,
I think it was his absolute skill levels. I mean, you must remember he was playing on paddy fields of pitches, heavy boots, none of the advantages that today's players have, and his speed, he wasn't what you'd call a speedy player, but he was quick over 10 yards.
Yeah.
And that first 10 yards was absolutely vital to get him away from the defenders. He was a nightmare to mark. The thing with Jimmy Greaves, and I've actually seen this happen, Jimmy Greaves could be anonymous in a match for 89 minutes. He mightn't get a kick, but in the last minute, he comes alive when the ball comes near him and he scores a winning goal. He did that so many times for Spurs. He'd be classed like a lot. That's probably why Alf Ramsey wouldn't play him so much for England, because he was not a lazy player, but he was a player that didn't track back and mark.
Yeah.
And that's why he only had so many caps for England. He should have far more. And but he was just so skillful. And I mean, the sight of Greaves coming at you with the ball at his feet must have been an absolute nightmare for the defenders. But,
yeah.
He was superb. And then when he got the likes of Alan Gilzean running alongside him, the G-men, I mean, they were an absolutely brilliant combination. I mean, you talk about Son and Kane. They were the 60s version of Son and Kane.
Yeah.
They really were. Brilliant.
Right.
The poor fella, I felt so sorry for him in later life, falling into the troubles that he had with alcoholism and everything. And then to have that stroke that deprived him of a lot of the last couple of years of his life. But to me, he was always will be the greatest player ever to play in a Spurs shirt.
Yeah. I mean, Mark, I ask you, but I want to do it a bit different for you. Who is your favourite player? And I know it would be Gary Mabbutt, so I want to park that to one side. No, hang on. Just let me get. Spurs played a lot. You remember the 80s and the 90s for Tottenham, all right? So, if you could pick one player that you knew you could tip your hat on, right, he's going to do it for Tottenham, rain or shine, who would that be? And I know you're a big fan of Gary Mabbott, but who else were you a big fan of?
No. Gary Mabbott is my hero. I explained this when we did the Gary Mabbott show because of what I got. I'm a diabetic like he is. You know, I was 20 years old and they diagnosed me with type 1 diabetes.
Yeah.
And that's why Gary Mabbott's my hero. He's not my favourite player, but he's my hero for what he's done. Like when I was growing up, around this era, I would have been 10. When I was out playing football, I wanted to be Glenn Hoddle. I was Glenn Hoddle. You know, even though I was crap, but I was still Glenn Hoddle.
Did you have the hair?
Probably not, because I want allowed. Well, back this was 81. I wanted a crew cut, but my mum said I looked like a thug, and I was never allowed it. So I wanted to be a skinhead, but my mum wouldn't have none of it.
It's all coming out now, isn't it, Philip? Now, we've got a bit of a hooligan down with us now.
No, I'm not a hooligan or nothing, but I just like the music. I like the music, and I like the bomber jackets and the Harrington jackets.
You like reggae, do you?
Yeah.
I'm saying partial to a bit of it myself now, to be honest.
Yeah.
I just want to quickly say in chat, John Fitzpatrick, Carl, who's your favourite Spurs player of all time? Put in the chat, who is your favourite Spurs player of all time? Do you agree with Mark, Glenn Hoddle? Do you agree with Philip, Jimmy Greaves? My favourite player of all time, and I love him to bits, I've got two. It's Chrissy Houghton and also Glenn Hoddle. Glenn Hoddle for me was just God.
I never
let us know in the chat.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, the other one is Gaza, without a shadow of a doubt, because what he could do with a football was incredible. You know, but Glenn Hoddle was always up there. Like, some of the goals he scored were mind-blowing.
Yeah.
You know, and even in going back to, even though I'm not really old enough to remember Jimmy Greaves, although I went to see him at my local team when he played for Barnet, and they played my local team. But Jimmy Greaves, you look at his goal scoring record for England, and I think someone will put it in the comments, it's like 40 odd goals in 40 odd games. He almost scored a goal a game. And you look at Wayne Rooney, he's got, is it 52 or 53, Wayne Rooney? Might be 55. Well, I don't know how many Wayne Rooney's got. He's at the top at the moment. But his 150 goals come against, in about 100 odd games, 100 and something games, against teams like the Faroe Islands. And, you know, all the sort of lesser teams where England are going to win like 7 and 8-0.
Yeah.
Jimmy Greaves' 40 odd goals for England come against like France and Germany and Holland and all. You know, there was no Faroe Islands back then.
True.
You know, Moldova and all these whipping boys.
I'm just telling you now, I'm just trying to find it. Jimmy Greaves is actually 5th in the all-time list.
Yeah,
he's on 40. Legend is that. Yeah, 44 goals.
Yeah. In only about 40 odd appearances or 50 appearances. You almost scored a goal a game for England. And it's an absolute travesty. It's an absolute travesty that Jimmy Greaves missed out on the 66 World Cup final.
And didn't even get a medal.
No.
Until not much long after. They eventually got a medal, but only after years.
That was in the 90s. No, that was in the 90s he got his
30 years after the final, he got his medal.
Yeah.
It was only the team that started the game got medals, apparently.
Yeah.
And there was no substitutes in those days.
Harry's only 3 behind Wayne Rooney, so he can become the new score.
How many's Wayne Rooney got? Is it 53?
Yeah, 53. Harry's only 3 behind him.
Yeah. But you look at how many appearances Wayne Rooney had for England, 100 and something.
What is Ray? I read out here. Rooney is both England's most capped outfield player of all time with 119 appearances.
There we go.
With 53 goals. I mean, even that record in itself is something else.
No. But compare that to Jimmy Greaves. Jimmy Greaves scored 44 goals for England in about 50 appearances.
Yeah.
60, yeah.
I looked it up here. I think it was 68 or something like that.
68,
yeah. He's virtually got a goal a game.
It is. Oh, I don't know. Oh, good. We've got a few here about their favourite players. John Fitzpatrick is saying for me, Ledley King and Harry Kane. Yeah. And then we've got Carl Higgins. Big up, Carl. I've never seen you before. Thank you for popping in. And please, everyone, like and subscribe. I used to go to the training ground in Cheshunt. God. On my
grifter. That was a blast from the past.
I'm going to have you two to explain to me what a grifter is. I had all their signatures. All right.
I think of Donald Trump, and that's a grifter.
Yeah. I remember having a blue and yellow BMX bike when I was a little kid. That was my pride and joy. I had all their signatures and used to run and get the ball for them. Well, I mean, Philip Amino, Ellie's told us many stories, hasn't she, Philip, that she used to be at the training ground training with the ladies' side, and she knew all the
she told us a few stories, all right, but we're sworn under the Official Secrets Act not to reveal them.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, the queen of this channel is away on her holidays. She's in the south of France, I think, in Nice somewhere. Sunbathing, the last I heard. So she will be back. But we are signed to the Official Secrets Act on that. We will be beheaded and torn and tarred and drawn through the middle of our street. We tell you what she's told us.
Just to finish off the Jimmy Greaves saga, 57 appearances, 44 goals. That's some stuff.
Yeah, there we go. I knew it was virtually 1 for 1.
Yeah, that's unreal.
And going back to Carl Higgins's comment, about used to ride his grifter, going back then, it's the same era. I had a chopper. Do you remember them bikes that had the gear stick in the middle?
Yeah, vaguely. I mean, I was only four and a bit in the 81, so I don't really remember much, Mark. All I remember in the early 80s was the music. That's all I remember. Yeah,
Specials, Madness.
Yeah. I used to love Madness as a kid. I used to also love Bob Marley as a kid. I thought his music was out as well.
Yeah. I went to see Madness. I saw Madness. I don't like saying it, at Finsbury Park, which is enemy territory.
Yeah. But mind you, my household music was full with my dad with Irish, traditional Irish music and the country Irish music, and then my mother's side, like 60s, 70s. She was a massive Elvis fan, and so I had all different types of music in my house growing up, plus my bit of music as well. So it was all different.
My parents were both Beatles fans.
I was quite unusual. I used to like the Beatles and the Stones, which was not really frowned upon those days. It's one or the other, you know. But just going back to Bob Marley. Bob Marley was a Spurs fan as well.
Yes,
he was.
Yes, he was.
I have actually read it somewhere. The Queen was a Tottenham fan as well, I think.
Either
her or Prince Philip, one of them were.
There is conflicting reports because apparently the Queen supported the other lot up our way. I'm not saying their name. Yes, allegedly. Because when they opened their ground, yes, there we go, John. John knows. Yeah, I had one. I wish I'd kept it because they are worth a fortune.
Yeah.
But when that lot down the road opened their new ground, the Queen was meant to open it, but she had a bad back. I only saw this on the telly yesterday. She had a bad back and she couldn't do it. And so she invited the whole of that lot to the palace. And there is like rumors that she supported them.
Maybe she had a bad back was an excuse that she didn't want to go near that shithole of ground of theirs.
Yeah, maybe. See, there you go.
Maybe.
But there is a picture of her giving Danny Blanchflower the FA Cup. Now, I don't know if it's in 61 or 62, but she did give them the FA Cup in one of them years, so I can't remember.
I'd say give it to whoever won that, you know. Yeah.
It was on. No, this was only on telly probably yesterday. I can't remember what her last FA, because she attended every FA Cup final up till about the early 70s, because at the end of this one, it's not the Queen who gives Stevie the trophy. Is it Duke of Kent or?
Yeah, Duke of Kent, I think. It's Queen's cousin, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Queen went to every FA Cup final up until about, it was either late 60s or early 70s.
Well, if anybody's interested, Ferrari got 1-2 in the at the moment in the qualifying for the Grand Prix. So put that in there as well.
No, that's fixed.
No,
that's fixed anyway because it's in Italy.
It's not fixed, Philip.
Mark. It is. It's in Italy. And so Ferrari are going to win that immediately.
Mark, you're drinking too much Diet Coke, man. It's not fixed, honestly.
You notice I had lager, yeah? I've been good today.
I'm wondering what you got in the Diet Coke, to be fair. That's what I'm thinking.
No, nothing. I told you I got my cousin's evening. Well, my cousins had the misfortune to be getting married today.
Bless him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I got to go to the evening do. So I got to behave and not get drunk.
Carl Higgins said my big brother had the chopper.
Yes.
And he also says I went to Finsbury Park to see Bob Dylan. Oh, there's a good singer, Bob Dylan, and Van Morrison. And we went straight from Glastonbury, turned up on the wrong day and night, and watched The Cure.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. The Cure. I like The Cure as well.
Yeah, my missus likes all that sort of music, The Cure and all that stuff.
I'll be honest with you. When Glastonbury's on, I can see the lights because Glastonbury's literally 15 miles from me, and I've never been. I've lived here all my life, and I've never been to Glastonbury. People come from Australia to go there.
The only good thing about Glastonbury is when they have like the famed, like the 80s or 80s singers, like on the Saturday night. I mean that's good.
There was, I think it was a few years ago. It might have been 10 years ago. On the Friday night, the specials were on there, and the Saturday night Madness was on there. That was the pyramid stage, the main stage, and I'd have loved to have been to that one, but I've never been. And I live. Well, I can see Glastonbury tour from my house.
Oh, right.
You know, because Somerset's quite a flat county, and I live on top of a hill. And if I look out the bedroom window, you can see Glastonbury tour. But even though the Glastonbury Festival isn't really in Glastonbury, it's near Glastonbury, but it's actually in Pilton.
Right.
Well, there you go.
But I've never been, and I live probably 20-minute drive, and I've never been. Sorry. When it's on, I can see the lights. You can see the glow in the horizon.
Philip, we saw Steve Perryman there. I mean, that man's had some career at Tottenham, hasn't he? I mean, the start of his career, he won 71, 72, 73. Then 74.
He was there in 67, mind. Was he part of the team in 67, or was he still a youngster?
No, he wasn't. No. He only left in 86. He nearly 20 years nearly. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, great servant. Really good.
Do you feel he doesn't get the recognition he deserves?
No, I think he does among Spurs fans.
Yeah.
I think he does, yeah.
Oh, I meant the club in itself.
Oh, well, no, yeah. Well, is he one of the legends? Is he officially involved with the club of match day at the moment?
I don't think he wants to be. From what I've seen of, I'm not sure. Well, I'm not speaking for him, obviously, but like a lot of the ex-players are. Like you've got obviously Gary Mabbott's there. Jermaine Defoe's just took place, hasn't he? And when I used to go back in the 90s, we used to see Mike England walk around the pitch at half time. I mean, they always had a lot to do with the club. Ledley King's an ambassador.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm not sure if Steve Perryman actually wants to be an ambassador. I'm sure he could be.
Possibly. Very possibly.
Yeah.
You know, obviously, I don't know.
It's nice though when you go into the shop or go into before the match to see these guys walking around talking to people. You know, it gives you sort of a closeness to the club. You know? I remember Graham Roberts and Paul Miller giving a speech the one day I was there. Now, it's very interesting.
I really wish I saw that, Philip. I was with Brian Daigle, and I actually really gutted I missed that. I wish I actually saw that.
Yeah, it was good. Now. Better than the result of the match, but anyway.
Oh, jeez. Don't
well, you went to the Wolves game, didn't you?
We did.
You was over for the Wolves game when we lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
All I remember was going watching an awful match. It pissed with rain all day. I remember waiting outside the station at White Hart Lane Station. We couldn't get on because there was a punch up inside the station. So we had to wait for that to calm down. So what they did was, the police, in their great wisdom, stick them all on the train and let the train go off, and they're all battering each other in the train, right? Which is brilliant. I mean, I don't know who thought of that idea, but it's not the greatest idea in the world. Getting there and then finding out I couldn't get the train to where I needed to go to Heathrow, so I had to get the Heathrow Express. And I got there soaking wet, peed off, we lost. All I wanted to do was fly back home. And then it was just, I think 3 o'clock in the morning, I got back home here in Wexford.
Yeah, I ended up sitting beside the wall. Of all the people in the plane, the bloody Wolves fan sitting beside me on the flight home. And I had my shirt on under my jacket. I was hoping to God he wouldn't see it. But at one stage when we moved, he saw the badge.
Yeah.
Oh, I had to sit there half an hour talking to him. Oh God. You know, I think if there were an extra seats, it would have asked the stewardess to move me.
There's a funny story. This is true, and I think I've told Dave this, but I got back into Dublin Airport about 1:30 in the morning. And you go through security, you know yourself going to a Dublin Airport when you're coming back, Philip. It's a rigmarole a bit, isn't it? You have to walk forever.
It's a walk. Yeah.
So we have a thing over here called PPS card, which is like it's like an identity card, but it's not. But you can Ryanair. Now Aer Lingus allow you to fly in it as ID. You haven't got a passport. So I come back, go passport control, give it to your man, and he says, we can't let you in. I said, why not? He said, because we don't accept it. You do. We said, anyway, we have to fly you back where you originally flew from. Where did you originally fly from? I said, Dublin Airport. And he went, So he opened the gate. He left my card there. He walked off. I said, fake this. I took my card and walked in. The man says, where did you fly from? I said, Dublin Airport. And you can see the look on his face. It's like, oh, Jesus.
Very good. You know, that's a good one, though. Yeah, but technically speaking, you shouldn't need your passport to fly to the UK.
No.
I was going to say, I didn't think I needed a passport to go to Ireland. It's this country I've never visited.
Technically, you don't, but if you go on the ferry, you're all right. If you go by Ryanair, they insist on it.
Yeah, you see, it's cheaper. You see, if you get the ferry, I would say, from Ireland, you're going to a match at Tottenham. It costs you €99. You get your ferry ticket, and you get the train ticket from Wales to wherever the end destination is, which is White Hart Lane Station.
Yeah.
And that costs you €99 return.
Well, that's not bad. Well, it depends on the connections.
It's a fair on travel, but anyway, it's half time here at Wembley.
Now, where does your ferry go into? Is it Holyhead or the one?
Yeah, Holyhead. What did Glenn Hoddle give? What did Glenn Hoddle give the fella, the band there? Did he give him a bit of chewing gum or something?
No, I think something fell off his uniform. He handed it back to him.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Whatever it was, he didn't like the touch of it.
No. Yeah,
he's still wiping his hands.
It was his mouthpiece off his trumpet.
Yeah. Oh dear. There's old Ricky and Aussie and Chrissy.
I'm just going to take a quick break before the second half. We're back in the second half.
John Bond. Here's a question for you, Philip. I don't know.
Oh,
You might know this. You might know this, Mark. Or Philip's gone for a minute. You might know
I
this,
doubt
Mark,
it.
or you might
I
not.
doubt it.
I will put it in the chat as well. Who did John Bond take over from at Man City?
Oh my God.
And no cheating either, Mark. I know you look at the chat to get the answers. You're not allowed to do that.
No. I can't see the chat anymore, Dermot, because this StreamYard thing's changed now. I can't see the chat.
All right. So anyway, have a think. If you need a clue, I'll give you a clue.
I was only 10, Dermot, so...
Right. Do you want to... I'll give the chat a few minutes to catch up. I will ask Philip when he gets back. And we're about to kick off. There's Ricky doing his exercises. The CNA team ready to go. There was a shop called in the 80s, the CNA, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. I mean, Man City. Do you give up on the question, by the way?
I haven't got a clue, Dermot. Honestly, I am.
Right, I'll give you a clue.
Oh.
He always wore big coats and he had a big cigar. And he went to Crystal Palace after he left Man City.
Oh, what's his bloody name? Malcolm Allison.
Yeah.
Yeah, he always wore a big sheepskin coat.
And for an extra point, right?
Oh, God. I never even got that one, so I'm not going to get the bonus.
We did technically. Once I give you the clue, you knew.
Well, Well, with the clue, yeah.
Right. Which club did John Bond, his brother is called James Bond, so that's James Bond's brother. Which club did John Bond leave to go to Man City? And I've got two clues for you. We've already talked about them already in this stream.
I know John Bond. Wasn't he associated with West Ham?
He played for West Ham.
He played.
Ah, there we go.
No.
But he managed somebody else.
Yeah, but we've already mentioned him in this stream, Mark.
Honestly,
I'll give you a clue. We beat them in the last game of the season last season.
Oh, Norwich.
Yeah.
Norwich. Yeah.
He was at Norwich, so Malcolm Allison left Man City to go to Crystal Palace because he was sacked there, and they brought John Bond in to manage at Man City. And I don't think John Bond lasted too long after this final. I don't think. I've got all this silly knowledge in my head about all the football in the 80s and 70s. Sorry, Mark.
Stuff about Tottenham in this era I might get, but to do with other teams, I ain't got a clue.
I tell you one thing. It was around this time Brian Clough took Nottingham Forest, didn't it? Was it this year that Villa won the European Cup?
It was, yeah. Because Villa...
Ron Wiley.
They're taking away the cockerel there.
Yeah, I was going to say, every final... I remember this final, there was a cockerel let loose around Wembley. That was a known thing, wasn't it? A big game at Tottenham. What I want to know is, if anyone can in the chat can answer this, how the hell did they used to smuggle a chicken or a cockerel into the ground without it flapping about under their coat?
Great question.
They threatened the cockerel with Burden Matthews at the time, so the cockerel just walked by himself. He knew what he said. If we don't go into that stadium, Burden Matthews is waiting for you around the corner.
It wasn't Bernard Matthews. It would have been the Colonel. It would have been Colonel Sanders.
Yeah, that's true.
Because Bernard Matthews was turkeys.
I think they used to White Hart Lane as well, didn't they? To put the cockerel onto the pitch.
I swear, I've been at games in the 70s and there's been a cockerel running about on the pitch. He had to send the stewards on to try and catch a damn thing.
Philip, I want to ask you this question. Me and Ellie, when we did the first part of the history of Tottenham Hotspur, I said about this. I don't know if it's true, but maybe you can confirm it for me. Is it true, apparent, that the cockerel died on the chairman had a cockerel or a parrot in his office, and it died the day we got relegated.
I have never heard that story though.
Was it a Norwegian blue? It must have been a Norwegian blue.
It was nailed to the perch, was it?
Yeah.
Well, I read somewhere the day we got relegated, this cockerel or parrot actually died on the perch.
Well, I'd say he might have died from probably a kick he got from the frustration of the chairman after being relegated.
Yeah,
I haven't heard that story, but it wouldn't surprise me. But a beautiful plumage.
Yeah. Norwegian blue.
Norwegian blue.
And I tell you one thing, that wasn't a penalty either. The referee was hoodwinked there.
And we're talking about Monty Python now.
Oh yeah.
We've gone everywhere on this stream bar talking about the match. The match is on. We're just talking about gibberish.
I didn't even realise they had a penalty.
Yeah, they scored a penalty.
But I think that's what makes this channel special. We could put a match on and we end up talking about anything and everything. It's actually it goes back to what the channel was really based on at the beginning, but I love it anyway. I was born Carl Higgins. Big up, Carl. Thanks for getting involved as well. And please, everyone, get involved. Get your memories, what it was like in the early 80s being a Spurs fan. What do you remember of it? Just let us know. Oh, any questions you want to ask Philip or Mark or myself, put them in and we'll answer them and we'll debate what you say. I was born and grew up a couple of miles down the road in Edmonton.
Yeah.
And for a couple of weeks before the final, virtually every house had flags or blue and white bunting. That would have been something.
Oh, yeah, I believe that.
Yeah, so can I.
We've got John Higgins here saying, do you think our Champions League game, I think it must think will go ahead. I'll leave that. What do you think, Philip?
It has to go ahead. It's just been played away in Lisbon. There's no reason why it won't go ahead.
Yeah. Apparently, UEFA have give no jurisdiction for games for any of their competitions to be cancelled because, I'm not being nasty, but to be honest, it's nothing to do with Europe.
Yeah. They're probably waiting for a British club to refuse to play, and then they'll kick them out.
Yeah.
Well, Rangers have already started because, and then UEFA come back to them and said, "Well, you lose the game 3-0." They said it's the best result you've had in weeks.
That's true. That's true.
I tell you one thing. There's a good discussion going on in the Irish Hotspur chat about why football shouldn't be played today. Philip is getting ready.
I'm not following it. I must put it on here and just see what's.
Yeah. Carl Higgins, big up, Carl, said they had 2 flags and bamboo canes tied to my grifter, one blue, one white. Oh, big up, Carl. And he says the whole area was buzzing. I remember in 91, I had an uncle that lived up in Tottenham, not far from White Hart Lane. And I remember going up there and just watching the crowds walk to the ground and walk away from the ground. It was such a buzz being up around that area. I mean, Philip, look, we've been watching Tottenham a long time, and we look back in these years as with a bit of rose-tinted glasses as time goes on. Could we have achieved more than what we did achieve? Do you think we could have, if we bought the extra player or we spent that bit of money, we could have actually, Keith Burkish could have won us the league title?
No, I think we're up against Liverpool and at the time and United, and Liverpool especially were very strong. Even Aston Villa were stronger than us at this, So, I think we're dealing with an old style board who probably didn't have the wherewithal or the inclination to put any more money into the club than they did. So, I think we did well for what we had. I don't think we're ever going to match the likes of Liverpool at that time.
No.
We were still not matching them when we should be, but no, I think it took the change of ownership to move the club a little bit on, because the Wales and the Richardson have been in charge of the club for 70 years? Some huge length of time anyway, so it was time for a change. Where is it now?
Where was it now? I did write it down here. Did I delete it? Because when me and Ellie did it, we did the they took over after. Where is it now? They actually took over after the chairman died, who was our chairman since 1892, and they actually bought shares in 1909. When the club,
that'd be what, 72 years, 72 years.
yeah,
So that was long enough.
yeah, it was. But we won all our trophies under them.
Yeah, well,
To be fair,
that's true. Ooh, what a risk pass.
Well, that was a bit of a risk, wasn't it?
Yeah. I still think the biggest mistake they did was getting rid of Pat Jennings.
Oh yeah, of course, absolutely. Especially
Alexis, but Alexis wasn't a bad goalkeeper, though, was he, Philip?
No, he wasn't. Pat was something else, though. I mean, Pat Jennings was a great keeper.
For some reason, I got no real memories of Amelia Lexic. I can remember Barry Danes.
Yeah.
I got no real memories of Amelia Lexic.
Yeah, Barry Danes, Amelia Lexic, Ray Clements, of course, then came in and took over.
Yeah, Clements come in the year after this, was it?
Yeah. He was there for the 82 final.
Yeah.
All I remember Ray Clements is him making a howler in his debut.
I remember the howl he made against Barcelona, too, in the Cup Winners' Cup.
I remember. Bless him.
God rest him.
He passed
anyway.
away a few years ago, didn't he?
He passed away a couple of years ago, yeah.
But he was another fine goalkeeper, though, as well, Ray Clements.
Yeah.
Whoa, great save there. Some shot by Huddle.
It was always between Ray Clements and Peter Shilton.
That's right. They used to alternate.
And Shilton sort of kept him out a little bit, didn't he? Because Shilton was an unbelievable goalie.
He was.
Now, there was always a shout that Pat Jennings, I don't know how true this is, I don't know if it's just people talking gibberish, was asked would he play for England when he first started as a footballer.
I wouldn't think so.
No. I don't think that was right either. But
Pat Jennings is a proud Irishman, Northern Ireland he's from.
I was going to say, because you got, well, that wouldn't surprise me, to be honest, because you got to remember, like, well, it's the same with, well, most English people have got, like, Irish blood somewhere in their family. And it's more or less the same for, like, most people in Ireland have got some sort of Welsh or Scottish or English, you know, because there's very close countries.
Yeah.
You know, so.
The FAI was known as Find Another Irishman there back in the 80s in Jack Charlton's time.
Yeah. I mean, you'll probably find that most of the England squad now have got, like, Irish.
Oh, Grealish has, Harry Kane has.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Let's think of a few, you know.
Yeah, we won't go there. That this could turn this stream very
No. I tried to be careful with what I said. I tried to be very careful with what I said. But you know, I mean, on the reverse side of that, you'll probably find that most of the Ireland team qualified to play for England as well.
They do, yeah. Nearly everyone.
Or could do.
Yeah.
Well, Jack Charlton.
They chose to.
Well, Jack Charlton came over. I mean, he came over for John Aldridge, and he got Ray Houghton on the same game.
Yeah.
I mean, the fans going to jump on in a minute now.
I mean, I was just looking at this game. I said there would be at least 2 red cards in this match if it was played today.
You know, if Ozzy wasn't the Clapham one, the fan was.
Yeah, that was a bad foul on Ozzy there, that one.
It was. It's quite amazing we never lost the cup final up to this point.
Yeah. Well, it continued past there, didn't it? 87 was the first. No, actually, 80. The first cup final. Any cup
the F.A.Cup we lost
was the Milk Cup, wasn't it? The Milk Cup against Liverpool. And we were 1-0 up in that game until the end.
Yeah, just ran out of steam in that one.
Was it Archibald who put us 1-0 up?
Yeah, I think so.
I forget
I
who.
listened to it on a radio, so I don't think it was live on the TV.
Probably not.
No, because it was only the FA Cup final, really. Back then, it was only the FA Cup final and maybe the odd England game that you could watch on the telly.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
If anybody is interested, I think Ferrari got 1 and 2 in the qualifying for the Grand Prix. If anybody's interested.
That's fixed anyway. It's in Italy. Fixed.
I wouldn't know one Formula One from another, so I won't comment on that.
Well, it's in Italy, and so Ferrari are the main. You know, if you watch it tomorrow, there'll be Ferrari flags everywhere.
Yes.
Yeah. Still waving the flags.
Yeah,
see, Ozzy hasn't been well recently, has he? He had a heart attack or something like that not so long
ago.
Ozzy
had heart surgery there a couple of months back. But I think he's all right again.
That was in this country as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I believe it was over here.
Yeah,
because he still lives in this country somewhere.
He lives here full time. Yeah, Ricky comes over to visit him a couple of times a year. I think.
Yeah.
Who would you rate as our worst manager ever?
Oh, goodness.
Terry Neal.
I can't remember him. So
Christian Gross probably, because he wasn't there long enough to make a big one. But he was the worst, I would say.
Towards the end of this decade and going into the 90s, we used to have a new manager every year.
I think we had 7 managers in 5 years or something.
Yeah.
Including caretaker managers.
Yeah. I was going to say, David Pleat was caretaker for God knows how many of them.
Yeah, a few times, yeah.
He was very good with the AA.
Yeah, I was waiting for you to say that. I did watch a show I did watch a show.
Yeah. He's traveling to have the breaking down places, isn't he? He's traveling very slowly.
Yeah. Allegedly.
I'm just looking at the color, the standard of the color pictures and back in the 80s. Nothing compared to what we're seeing today, isn't it?
No, it's all HD and.
Yeah, it's very, very lukewarm. It's like black and white. It's an improved version of black and white, really.
Yeah. But because we knew nothing different, this was like brilliant, wasn't it?
I mean, there was still black and white TVs knocking around at this stage.
Well, it would have been. Yeah. I remember I had a portable TV when I was given it for Christmas, and it was black and white, and that would have been after this. That would have been sort of 83 or 84, and it was black and white portable, and there was no way of plugging it into the aerial on the roof. I just had like the coat hanger thing on the back, and you had to sort of move it about.
Yeah, they are now.
I mean, do you think you can actually buy a black and white TV anymore?
Probably not. Probably not.
Because
there's nothing being produced in black and white now, unless like Kenneth Branagh does that film of Belfast in black and white.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen that, but have you seen that film Belfast? There are a few very quite blatant references to Spurs in it. And one of the graffiti on one of the walls is "Up the Spurs" is written on it. Because Brannan's a big Spurs fan, and he got it into the movie, and that wall features a few times in the movie. I
was going to say because obviously I don't know a lot about Ireland, but from what I've heard, it's mostly Liverpool and Man United fans.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
because that's because that's the two closest. Like obviously that's just across the water. It's only across the Irish Sea, isn't it? And you're in Ireland.
An awful lot since the turn of the decade, since the turn of the noughties. There's been an awful lot of Chelsea fans have come along.
Yeah. And Man City fans, I can imagine as well.
That's right. But I don't class anyone that hasn't been supporting a club for a long time as being a fan anyway.
No,
Like
no.
Chelsea fans didn't know who Peter Osgood was, and that's
Yeah.
First know who was Jimmy Greaves, not be able to answer you.
Yeah.
Peter Osgood scored the winning goal in the 1972 FA Cup final at Old Trafford.
Was that not the 1970 one against Leeds?
Yeah, I can't remember. Was it 70 or 72?
That was probably one of the roughest matches ever played in British football. They absolutely kicked lumps out of each other in that game.
Am I right? Is that the only replay to be played outside Wembley? Bar this was the first one to be played at Wembley, I think, wasn't it?
Replays were, if there was ever any replays, were played away outside Wembley. They didn't use Wembley. That was played at Old Trafford.
Why did you use Wembley for this one then?
I think it's because it was a centenary final. I think that's maybe the.
I see. Yeah. But it definitely was a centenary final.
That was probably one of the reasons,
Yeah, it definitely was a centenary final because it's like I said earlier. I've still got the program somewhere.
Yeah.
All right, I've just got a question for you two. I think you will get it.
Here we go.
Mark, you will get this. No, you will. Right. This was the replay. Can you name me the other two replays at the start of the 80s? Because there was sort of a batch of them together.
Well, one was the
Tottenham
year
versus
after.
Man City. We all know Tottenham played QPR. What was the third replay that happened after the 81 and 82 Cup finals?
Was it Man United and Brighton?
Yeah,
give that man a medal.
Right,
give that man a medal.
That's right. It was 2 each, wasn't it, in the first game?
It was. What was the name of that man must score in 83? He was clean through.
Is that the one? Is that the one that Moran got sent off in?
Yeah.
See, a wealth of knowledge.
Moran got sent off against Everton.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. He did.
I'll take that away. Take that away.
Right, I've got another question. Right, I know you're going to get this, Philip. I know, Mark. I said it to Ellie the other night, and I put it to the chat as well. What links the 1901, 1961, and 62, and the 1991 FA Cup finals?
I know this anyway. I know this because
Spurs won them all. Spurs won them all.
No. There's a link that links them all.
I know because I rewatched the show, Dermot. So I'm not saying a word because I do know.
1921.
I'm not sure about 21, but I know 1901, 61, 62. I'm not sure about 81 and 82, but I know in 87 and 91 they're all linked together.
Yeah.
I'm stumped on that one.
Can I say?
Yeah, I'll just give a few minutes, see if anyone in the comments wants to.
I can't think of it. There's hardly any of the managers or players still in the squad from 1901 back to 1961.
You're along the right lines.
John Fitzpatrick's got it.
Oh, I see it there. Yeah.
Do you want to say it? Go on, Mark. I know you've been eager to say it. Go on, you say it.
Well, no, it's only because I rewatched the show when I finished. It's the surname, isn't it? Is it Allen?
Yeah.
We had
Allen.
We had a Brown in 1901, a Brown in 1961-62. We had Allen.
Yeah, that's the goalie. That
we had Allen in 61, 62, and 87 and 91.
Yeah, that was Paul Allen and Clive Allen.
We had Smith in 1901 and the Smith in 1961 and 62.
Yeah.
All right.
Spurs always won a cup when there was a Brown, Smith, or Allen in the side.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know what happened in 81 and 82, to be fair, and 67. But apparently, wow. This is a big one from Carl Higgins.
See that one? Yeah. Jimmy Dimmock. He's
My
very famous.
cousin, Jimmy Dimmock, scored the winner goal. I think he did.
Yeah, he did indeed. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Big yourself
Mr. Higgins, we'll have to get you on.
Yes.
You're footballing royalty in the house.
Yeah, we do. Mr. Carl Higgins, we'll have to get you on the channel one stream and have a chat with you, sir.
Absolutely.
Wow. That is a wow.
That is wow.
Yeah. We really do. So we all bow to you, Mr. Higgins. And then we've got Mr. EE. I can't pronounce his name, so I call him Mr. EE. He said he was all right with it, so I'm sticking by it. He said, "Hi, Dermot, Coys. Afternoon, Philip and Mark. Are you ready, Gary Mabbitt's cousin?"
No, he's just my hero. No, well, my surname, because Dermot is misspelled it, there should be an S on the end of my surname.
Yeah. Look, I'm going to put it out there. I'm dyslexic, so get over it, Mark.
No. I was just saying that you missed the S off the end of my surname.
Just be grateful. I nearly spelt your surname correctly. I could have spelt it something else, to be fair. So
I've been called that many times. I've been called that.
Oh, Lord. I'm just having a joke, Mark. I'm not being...
No. I know. But I'm just saying, I've been called them names many times.
Oh, Lord God. Have we actually equalised yet? Or are we still 2-1 down?
Still 2-1 down. That was handball.
It's soon, because that should have been a penalty.
It's actually it comes from this corner, I think.
It does.
Yes, it does.
For me,
because that should have been a penalty because that was handball then.
For me, it's the pass from Hoddle. I mean, this pass from Hoddle is just... It's Glenn Hoddle. This is Glenn Hoddle all in 1 minute. That pass.
Yeah, there we go. Crooks.
Bang.
Yeah.
I've just thought of a nickname for Archibald and Crooks, Philip, the CNA team.
Yeah. Right.
I just realised there was a shop called the CNA. So
CNA. That's right.
Yeah. Mr. E, great choice of players to call your cousin, and Sean's in the house. Big up, Shawnee. Hope you're all right.
Big up.
Everyone, please get over to the Spurs Talk Show.
What was that last comment about Gary Mabbott being my cousin?
Please get over to the Spurs Talk Show and hit and like, but do it here first. Hit like and subscribe to this channel as we're on the march to 700 before we play Arsenal.
Great
we want to get to 700 before we play our next Premier League.
Now, Mr. Edwardson, go back and watch the Gary Mabbott show that we did. That explains everything why Gary Mabbott is my hero. I'm not going into it now because I sort of went into it earlier on, but the whole show is like for me, really.
Yeah,
but on there is my story about Gary Mabbott.
Me and Ellie were just there as background. It was all about Mark, really. Mark was gonna, we had to do Mark's coronation. We had to put the crown in his head and do everything properly.
Well, it was mentioned about me being King of England now.
Oh, Lord God.
Did you get my message on the WhatsApp group about the other two Charles that have been king?
Yeah, I actually said that to my missus and we did laugh. I know it's not funny. I would not find it funny, but do you want to explain to people what it was before I get myself hung, drawn, and quartered by anybody watching this?
No. This is in no way disrespectful to anything because I'm neither pro-monarchy or anti-monarchy. They're just here.
Can I just quickly say, it just shows how lucky the name is, to be fair.
What, Charles?
Yeah.
Well, the first King Charles I, I think, was beheaded. I think.
Yeah.
Well, this is what Wikipedia told me. Charles II was involved. He got disposed by Oliver Cromwell when that. I think that was the English Civil War. I'm no great historian.
Charles I was killed by Cromwell.
Yeah. Yes. Was that Charles I?
Yeah.
Did you say? Yeah. Oh, all right. And the second one, Charles II.
There we go. Is the goal coming?
Yeah.
He fled the country or something and went to the Netherlands.
Yeah, he did, but he came back in 1660 to reclaim the throne once Cromwell had died.
Yes, that is right.
Can I just say something, Mark? When I was at school, I sort of fell asleep during English history. When it came to Irish history, I was awake and alert and eager to learn about it. When it came to English history, I sort of fell asleep.
To be honest, I only saw something on Facebook about like Charles I and Charles II. Obviously, we're getting Charles III now. But to be honest, Philip's more knowledgeable than me about it because I'm no historian.
History is one of my pet subjects. So I suppose
is it?
Yeah.
See, Irish history for me is I love reading Irish history and the War of Independence and all around that time period and the lock-in and in 1913 the lock-in and then we had the rising and about it. I'd love that all sort of history. I watch documentaries on YouTube about Irish history and about the people that signed the publication on the 1916 rising and.
What's this wine? Is this wine markup time now?
No.
My specialist subject in history is a strange one. Actually, it's the American Civil War.
Really?
Yeah. Fascination with that thing. I've been to Gettysburg, where the battle was.
Yeah.
And it's just a total fascination with it. It's
do you want to read this one out, Philip?
War. Sorry?
Do you want to read this one out?
Charles II was a philanderer, but tried to claim the throne back at the Battle of Preston and lost to Cromwell, if I recall. You're right. Charles I was killed by Cromwell. Charles II he was exiled, but came back after Cromwell died and reclaimed the throne. Yeah, that's quite right. That's quite right.
Yeah. And then
there was some womanizer Charles II.
He was a puppet.
He was some boy.
Who was a puppet?
I'd like to know. And
Cromwell is no fan of. If you mention Oliver Cromwell's name in Ireland still, people will sit on the floor. He was absolutely brutal to the Irish.
He was.
Oh, was he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. There's massacres all over the country caused by Cromwell.
Seriously?
One in Drogheda. There was one
seriously.
Yeah.
Very, very anti. But we're here celebrating the mighty Spurs and
bloody hell,
Cromwell
right.
And
I wish I'd never said nothing, no.
Mick Collins is a hero, but just because I'm related to him, I'm just saying Mick Collins is a hero.
He absolutely was.
Did you see the documentary? They did the cold case about the day he was assassinated?
I did.
It was really good.
Yeah.
Really well done, wasn't it?
Well done. It was well done, yes. Yeah. Here's the goal now, lads. Just to
here we go. Forget about everything else.
Here we go.
Go on.
And still Ricky Villa.
Watch Garth Crooks'
fantastic
foot,
run.
leg.
Yeah.
Do you ever see Garth Crooks' leg? He just went. You could see him moving. Yeah. We apologise, Mr. EE. We went down that route, but see, Mark's very much more. And we just quickly go there and watch Garth Crooks' leg. Watch him. Watch it. There.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Just around. Yeah.
What a run by him though, wasn't it? What a run blow. Absolutely brilliant.
You know what nearly stopped that goal being sheer perfection? The fact it's a pity it flicked off Joe Corrigan on the way in.
Yeah.
If it had gone in on the full, it would have been even better.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me, lads. The ball and change. Look.
I have to laugh. Carl Simpson thought he was watching the History Channel. Oh, dear, I do apologise. You see, no football card. It's just made us do things we don't normally do. So we do apologise. Mind you, when we were talking about history, the viewership went up somehow, Mark. So I don't know.
Did it? Oh, here we go then. Right.
No, Mark, don't go down that route.
I don't really know a lot about because, when I did history at school, it was basically the Tudors and the Stuarts, and that bored me to death.
Should we go through? If we're going to go through history, should we go through some Spurs history?
Why not? And see how much of it I know. Right.
This is actually what we won as when we were a non-league club, Southern League. We were winners of the Western. We won the Southern League in 1899-90, and then of course we won the FA Cup a year later.
1901, yeah.
We won the Western League in 1903 and 1904. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
We were London League Premier Division champions in 1902, 1903.
You'll never sing that.
No, and we were also, this is true, we were the Football League South C Division champions in 1939 and 1940.
I have never heard of any of these leagues.
No, okay. Then we won the Southern Professional Charity Cup winners in 1901. That must be the Charity Shield. It has to be the Charity Shield.
Yeah, I would have thought so.
We won it in 1901, 1902, 1904 to 05, 06
but
to
if it's the
07.
Charity Shield, if that is the Charity Shield, we wouldn't have qualified for it any of the other years.
No, and then we won the Sheriff of London Charity Shield. I mean, God knows what the Sheriff of what that was. We won it in 1901, 1902, and then we won it in 1933 and 34.
I've only ever heard of the Sheriff of Nottingham. So who the Sheriff of London is, I don't know.
Mr. Carl Higgins says we're going back to the History Channel again for you, Carl. He says King Charles II was invited back. He had no power. Okay.
I see.
And then Mr. E.E. Sorry, got it wrong. Was the Battle of Worcester, wherever that is. Worcester. Sorry. That Charles II lost, not Preston Pans. No more mention, though, I promise. No, Grant, anything about Spurs history, bring it in.
Yeah.
Because we are going to do the second part of the Tottenham history. And if anybody is interested, there's been a load of Greek penalties, and Lewis Hamilton is starting at the back of the grid for the Italian Grand Prix tomorrow.
I heard that yesterday. That Lewis Hamilton, he done something right. I don't really like Formula One, so.
Well, now we won the London Challenge Cup winners because somebody actually explained to me in the chat.
What the hell?
I've been trying to look for this, and I cannot find anything about it. What the London Challenge Cup was, but apparently we've won it 8 times. We've won it in 1910, 11, 28, 29, 36, 37, 47, 48. 58, 59, 63, 64, 70, 71, and 70, once the pop-up's gone away, 73, 74.
Do you reckon that's like a reserve team thing or something?
I have no idea. If somebody in the chat can let us know.
I don't know. Let's face it, the last 2 is since I've been alive.
Yeah.
And I've never heard of it.
Mr. E.E. says, Carl Higgins, that's what I meant by recalled. Charles II was recalled to be head of state because the Cromwell died. They recalled Charles II because Cromwell's son couldn't run a bath. Well, fair enough. Bit harsh. I didn't know they had running water back in them days, but that's
probably not.
Me. Carl Simpson don't know what it is, but I will take it. Exactly. We'll take anything with Spurs fans.
Yeah. No one else will be able to sing that.
Yeah.
No.
Mr. E says, I think we might win the F.A.Cup this season. Just got a feeling it's our year again. Yeah,
let's hope so.
I have a
Let
feeling.
us hope
I
so.
really do.
Let us
if anyone lets know maybe Philip might know when Philip is back from talking to his good lady wife. Right, I had a bit of history now. Do we know? Right. Let's go back now a little bit. Let's go back. Right, these are our top 3 players we've bought. They're at the bottom. I will tell you what I'll do is. I'll do that. We've got a comment here from Mr. E. We also won the Audi Cup. No one else has heard of that tournament either. Yeah, we did win the Audi Cup.
Actually, Mr. Edwardson, we actually retained it because the year after it was cancelled because of COVID, and we were awarded it again. And that is true. That is true. So we retained that.
Hang on, Mark. Hang on. What you're saying is right. Because it was cancelled, you're taking it as we retained the trophy.
We did retain. It was officially awarded to us because Mark, it never got played because of COVID.
So was it a case of we've kept the trophy because they've never played the Audi Cup again?
Well, it was meant to be on the year we all went into lockdown. and
Oh, Lord.
and because it never happened, we retained it.
Right. Philip, me and Mark have been delving into the history of Tottenham Hotspur. I've got a few facts and figures here. What was the London Challenge Cup? We've seemed to have won it 8 times.
Yeah, I vaguely remember that. Is that going back to somewhere between the wars or?
Yeah, we last won it in
Yeah,
73,
1928,
74.
Yeah, like I don't remember him winning it in 1970 or 73 now, to be honest. It can't have been. It can only be a one-off game. It can't have been a whole series of matches.
Mm.
I was wondering whether it was a reserve team thing or.
Hang on, let's have a look it up here. It could well have been, it could have been for the B teams or the reserves.
And Mr. EE saying double winners of the Audi Cup. Hooray.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
They'll never sing that.
Back-to-back winners.
Yes.
What else have we got here now?
Right, here it is now. The London Challenge Cup was a football tournament formerly organised by the London FA. It was first contested in 1908, and other than during World Wars, was contested every season until 1974, when the tournament was disbanded. Now, let me see.
We were the last winners then.
Yeah, looks like it. No, after it was resurrected in 1990, but lasted only 10 years before being discontinued again. It used to be won by the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Spurs, and West Ham, but then the quality of the entrance was lower, with Leyton Orient winning it in 1992. So that'll kind of show you what happened there. But it doesn't say whether it was for reserves or first teams. I suppose it was up to the team itself to put out whatever team they wanted. So
yeah, and then we this was the great one. This is the other what we won as a Southern League side, and then the Western League, and then the Premier Division.
Don't forget the F.A. Cup as a Southern League team. That's which will never ever be repeated.
No. That'll be like my hometown winning the F.A. Cup now.
Yeah. Incredible achievement.
Yeah, that's some great. I mean, this is 3 goal scoring records here.
Harry Kane. 68, 84.
I mean, you look at the goal per game ratio between Harry Kane, Martin Shivers, and Jermaine Defoe.
Very similar, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now,
not much between them at all.
Oh, I understand goals per game, 0.65, 0.69. Jermaine Defoe, 0.66. So that's pretty even.
Yeah.
What do the other two stand for? EA and EG?
These are like for England. So this is Tottenham's.
Oh, England. England appearances.
Top 3 England appearances. Now, this is the club one.
Yeah.
This is now the CA means clubs appearances. TG means total goals. League goals, domestic cup goals, and then European goals, and that's their goal. So Jimmy Greaves, of course, 266 total goals, 220 in the league, out of 379 appearances. Harry Kane, 389 appearances, 188 league goals. And good old Bobby Smith, who's the third there, 176 league goals, at 317 appearances. I mean, Philip, you're the big Jimmy Greaves fan, but Bobby Smith, people seem to forget what a great striker he was.
Bobby Smith he was one of the old school centre forwards. I'll tell you, he'd give goalkeepers nightmares, so he would.
Yeah.
I always remember what he said in the first European Cup game Spurs ever played in 1961. I think it was against Górnik Zabrze in Poland.
Yeah.
And they beat us. I don't know, was it 1-0 or 2-0, but they beat us. But Bobby Smith went up to the goalkeeper at the end of the match. I'll continue in a minute. She's on again. Yeah. Hold on.
Okay. I think, he went
up. Can I just jump in?
Yeah, of course you can. I was going to ask you a question it was actually a question about Mountain Shivers. Mark.
God. Yeah.
Just roll with it. Just roll with it, Mark.
Yeah, I was going to say, Jesus.
Okay.
I'd have been about
He
2.
cannot help you. He didn't play for Spurs, though we would love
No,
to.
he plays for that lot now. Jesus.
Yeah, well, Moses plays for us.
Yes.
Look, we had Martin Shivers, Jermaine Defoe. I mean, out of that, apart from Harry Kane, Martin Shivers and Jermaine Defoe was something special, weren't they? They had pace, didn't they?
Yeah.
Both of them had electric pace.
Yeah. But to be honest, it's like I've said, like when we do all these history things and we look at Tottenham have always had great strikers.
Yeah.
Always. Since I've been a Spurs fan, it's been our defence has always been suspect.
Yeah. Sorry, Mark. Mr. EE's not letting his Audi Cup go. He really isn't letting it go.
Yeah, I don't blame him. Yes. Yeah, I don't blame you, mate. I don't blame you.
Yeah. Look. Yeah, I don't know if you want to finish what you're going to say.
Yeah, I'll finish what you're saying, mate. Anyway, after the match, Spurs had lost the game anyway. First game in the European Cup, and Bobby Smith went up to the goalkeeper. He put his finger up to the goalkeeper's nose. He says, the goalkeeper obviously didn't speak any English, but Bobby says to him, Londres, you'll get yours in Londres. And from the first minute of the second leg, the goalie was unnerved, and Spurs won 8-1 in the second match.
Do you know what? I watched coverage of that on YouTube the other night. I actually found highlights of that match. And Lord Jesus.
That's the one that was played in the snow. There was snow on the ground.
Yeah.
But in those days, you could barge the goalkeeper into the net, and Bobby Smith made sure he did it on more than one occasion. He was a great. Poor old Bobby fell on hard times after he finished his career. He went to play for Brighton after Spurs, but I think he was one of the players had to go back to the club looking for a bit of charity to actually survive.
Yeah, but the money wasn't away in football then. No. The money wasn't in football then like it is now.
I know something that probably you two don't know, and their Spurs have won the cup.
Yes.
Right. I know something probably Philip may know. I know Mark won't know, but I think
here we go.
Right. Jimmy Greaves signed for Spurs. We all know for 999,099 pence, right?
It was 99,000.
Do you know how much his weekly wage was? His weekly wage.
I could take
now,
this
is after Jimmy Hill had won the battle to get.
Yeah, I was going to say, was it because they were limited? There was a wage cap, wasn't there?
20 quid a week was the wage cap.
Yeah.
Prior to 1960 or thereabouts.
Yeah.
I'd say 100 quid a week.
Mark, do you want to guess?
50 quid a week.
£180 a week. Jimmy Greaves' starting wage at Spurs was back.
That was massive money at the time.
Yeah.
That was
he
massive.
Could have bought a house for that, probably.
Yeah,
he did. There's the fella with the white coat. Every time Spurs won something, he was always on the pitch.
But you noticed back then, all the fans run on the pitch, and there was nobody there was no policeman chasing them about, or
No, it was all pretty much good humoured.
What's that?
Anyway,
Bailey there,
going back to that pop-up thing you had on, Dermot, about Harry Kane and Jimmy Greaves.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, if you can put that back up. There we go. No, not that one. The other one. That one. You notice Harry Kane has played 10 more games than Jimmy Greaves, and he's 13 goals behind him. This just goes to show what a striker Jimmy Greaves was. Not like, he's a bit before my time. But it just goes to show, because Harry Kane's the greatest striker I've ever seen at Tottenham. And I've seen the likes of Klinsmann, Crooks and Archibald in this game. But it just goes to show how good Jimmy Greaves was.
So who's giving the trophy now?
Yeah.
I'm sure it was the Duke of Kent or something, or the Duchess of Kent.
Duchess of Kent, yeah.
Our first FA Cup win since 1967,
Here
since
comes your man now.
Guy lifted the cup.
And that guy will jump down in a minute.
Yeah.
Because I remember as well that if you could have the sound on this, there'd be you'd hear someone in the back shouting, "Steve, Steve."
We'll give him a chance to lift
There
up
he
the cup
is.
first.
There he is. There he is.
Call him
There's
over.
that bloke.
Yeah. Bless him. He was like, yeah.
He was happy. He was a happy camper.
There's Tony.
Yeah, those are the days. Let's hope we see something similar now inside the next few months.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yes. In May.
Yeah. Mm.
There's over.
It's like February either for the Carabao Cup, you know.
No, but I want this one. I want.
Oh yeah, true. But just the Carabao Cup is a warm up to make sure they know where to go to collect the FA Cup. You know.
To be honest, right, even if we did win the League Cup, which is still, you know, it's a trophy, and I'm not belittling it, but all the rest of the fans, it'd be, it's only the League Cup. You win the FA Cup, people take notice.
Yeah, true.
You know, the FA Cup is something special. Always has been.
Indeed.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was good fun.
Well,
I'm going to have to pop off soon because that was my other half's on the way home, and she's given me tasks to do, which I have to do before she gets here, you know.
All right, well, yeah, we are going to finish up soon.
Yeah.
But listen, we will be back tomorrow. I don't know if we're back tomorrow or Monday. We will be back with another classic game. We will be doing the build-up to the Sport in Lisbon. Is it Sport in Lisbon we're playing next?
Sport in Lisbon, yeah.
Yeah, we will be doing the build-up to that and a sort of a look back tomorrow night at the Marseille game and a look ahead to the Sporting game. There will be a watch along on Tuesday. Mark's joining me for that, hopefully. I know Philip's doing Ringo Starr up in Dublin, being famous.
That's early kickoff as well, isn't it? Tuesday.
It is, yeah.
Quarter to 6.
5:45.
And we will be back on Wednesday with another classic game. We're gonna bring these classic games down to the Premier League.
Yeah.
I think it's great to look back.
But that's what this channel was about. That's what this channel was about.
We're going back to 1973, our next game for the League Cup final, us against Norwich City. And we've just got Miss Reed says, I agree. I love the FA Cup. Long overdue us winning it, guys. I want to thank everyone who's come in today to chat. Philip, anything you want to say? You know, no Premier League football, so.
Well, hopefully, you know, it's actually a bit of a bonus in disguise because the nightmare scenario for us today would have been gone to Manchester City and let Haaland runs riot against us, and then we have to start again against Sporting Lisbon. So maybe a few extra days off will help us because Sporting are playing this weekend.
Yeah.
So we'll have a fresher team. That being said, I hope it's back next weekend because, you know, for two reasons. One, continuity, and I'm going to the match. So hopefully going to the match. So we'll see.
Every Saturday there isn't a game. I will be on. We'll be doing like a service, like a result service on the Saturday. If Spurs are playing on the Saturday, I can get footage of it over here. We get it on Premier Sports. We would do a watch along. If not, we'll do the whole Premier League. And Mark, for you, any words to the Tottenham fans to keep them going for over the weekend and any bits of, you know, get us up and going?
Oh, enjoy your weekend, obviously, without the football. But there's more to life than just football.
No, there isn't.
Well, as Bill Shankly said, football's not a matter of life and death. It's much more important than that.
It is.
Thank you to the man on the top there for speaking sense. Thank you to the man there.
I take that back. I honestly take that back. There's not more.
No, there is. I mean, there is a lot more to it. But when you're so involved with a team, you want to see them winning every match, and you want to. There's been a break in the transmission, if you like. Now it's difficult to take, but we'll be back stronger and better, hopefully.
We will. But also, we will be back on Sunday. We're going back to the 70s. Philip Alavi's flares on. Mark we're wearing his 70s type shirts. And I wasn't even born then, so I'd just be a little dot on the screen. So
you'll be swimming around somewhere.
I'll be swimming around. You'll have your fluffy shirts on, and Philip will have his sideburns and his flares on and his big medallion. And we're going back to 1973 to watch Tottenham versus Norwich City. can Bill Nick win his last trophy as Spurs manager? Just to come here from Nick, what a wonderful journey down memory lane. I'll let you read that out, Philip, if you can.
What a wonderful journey down memory lane in preparation for us to do it again. Thanks, Mark, our West Country guru, Philip the Godfather, and Dermotron.
Yeah.
Good man, Lazy 8, Nick. Well done.
Yeah.
And then we've got Lisa here. Thanks, guys. I enjoyed that.
Big up, Lisa.
That's what we're here for. We're here so you enjoy it. Right, I'm going to go and get myself popped up about the 70s, and Mark's going to stick his Boney M album on.
No, I told you I got to go to a.
Yeah, no, you were going chasing the bridesmaids around. That's what you're doing now this evening.
No, I probably got children older than them.
Oh Lord Jesus!
And I'm certainly not like that.
Oh Lord! Do you know what, Philip? Do you ever wish you just end the stream without saying something?
I think you should quit while you're ahead, damn it. That's probably the best way.
That's what I'm going to do. See you later. Bye bye.
Yeah.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.
Oh Lord.